Okay, welcome to the Flipping and Wholesaling Houses in New York show. I'm Michael Pinter. I have the sun in my face. I apologize. Los Angeles below me. I'm up in Runyon Canyon. This is a show where I teach you how to start flipping wholesaling houses in New York, or if you're ready, maybe I can block the sun with the phone, or if you're already doing it, how to grow your business. So the question is, what does a tax lien on a property mean? So a lot of people have a misconception of what it means. They believe that the property's gone, right? I've spoken to people and they tell me, oh, you know, there's a tax lien on it, so it's gone. So there are different locations. It's ironically the two main counties I deal with it differently. One is a tax lien county, which is Nassau County. The other one is a tax deed county, which is Suffolk County. What that means is that when your taxes go late, right? We're talking about property taxes here. So if you haven't paid your property taxes in Nassau, they're going to auction it off once a year, and then there's a 2-year redemption period. Basically, it means that if you have a tax on your property, you still have plenty of time to pay it off. There's going to be interest on it, interest accrues, and people buy these tax liens at the auction. There's really one company that buys almost all of them, L&L, which is a couple of attorneys. And then they can start the foreclosure process if you do not redeem the tax lien after 2 years. But then usually there are subsequent tax liens that show up, so there's all kinds of complications. But the foreclosure process, even when you have a tax lien, takes a long time. So you have a long time. People told me and said, oh, there's tax liens on it. I go, okay, we'll just get payoffs and we'll pay them off. Suffolk County is a tax deed state where they actually sell the property if you don't pay the taxes after a while. I have never really dealt with tax issues, tax problems in Suffolk, so I'm unfamiliar with what the redemption period is or how it works. But you'll see properties owned by the town of Brookhaven, the town of Smithtown, and those are situations where the taxes weren't paid and the town actually bought them. But usually it doesn't mean what people think it means. People think it means that the property's gone, and it doesn't mean that at all. It's usually something that can be paid off. Where's the camera? I don't even know if I'm looking at the camera. The camera's up there, but the sun's right in my face. Let me move. The sun will be to my side. I have a better view behind me, but at least I wanted the sun in my eyes. Jeez Louise, the sun was so red coming up this morning up Hollywood Boulevard. Okay, so, but what it really means, if you're thinking about buying a property, oh, there's a Hollywood sign there. Can you see the Hollywood sign? When you're buying a property, it usually means a good thing, because it almost always indicates, not always, but almost always indicates that the property does not have a first lien mortgage on it. Because if it had a first lien mortgage on it, most of the time they are escrowing for taxes and they're going to pay it, or they're going to pay it anyway just so they don't get foreclosed on, because the tax lien is a primary lien. It goes even before a first lien mortgage, which is, I think, one of the only things that goes before a first lien mortgage. So if the taxes aren't being paid, it usually means there's no first lien mortgage, which usually means there's equity, and it means that there's some financial distress there because somebody's not paying taxes on it. So those are really good indicators of what could be a deal. So if something has a tax lien on it, that is usually a great thing. It means, again, those two things, that it probably doesn't have a first lien mortgage on it. It does not have a first lien mortgage on it. It also indicates that that there's financial distress. So that should be an indicator that this could be a property you can buy at a discount that you can make money on. So those are really good. Now, how do I handle tax liens? So very often, we pay them off at the closing, and that's it. So somebody might come to me and say, I want to sell my house for $200,000, but I think that it's gone from the taxes. I'll look, the tax liens are $50,000. I'm like, well, we can cover that. Just understand, whatever proceeds you're going to get are going to be reduced by whatever taxes are there. So that's what it means. And again, this is different in every county and every state of how it's handled, because second, we got some company. So you have to find that if your county is a tax deed or a tax lien, what the redemption period is, which means how long you can pay it off, and then what you can do with those liens. But again, if you're looking for distress on a property and you see tax liens, it usually is a really good indicator that there is distress, and very often it's an indicator that there is no first lien mortgage, so that it's an indicator that there's equity on it too. So that's really good. Now, Emmanuel King says, I want to come to you over there. I'm in LA for a couple of weeks, so visiting my daughter. So if you want to come here, I don't know what to tell you. It's a lot of places to come to. So now I am 4 minutes into a 10-minute video. So what should we talk about? I guess we can talk more about taxes. So so one of the best lists that you can get is tax delinquent list, right? It happens in most counties. It doesn't happen, unfortunately, in Nassau and Suffolk so easily. To get a tax delinquent list is almost impossible. But if you can get a tax delinquent list, that's a really good indicator of distress, as we just said. If someone's not paying taxes and there's no first lien lender to pay the taxes, and that's really, really good. that is a real indicator of stress and an indicator that you can possibly buy the property at a significant discount. I'm sweating like a pig because I'm walking away from people here. Oh, let me sit down again. Now, what else should we talk about? Let's talk about what you do when you get a list of tax liens or tax delinquent properties. So you want to get the list, and then you want to skip trace the list, and you want to call the people. And then what you don't want to do, and this is important with messaging, is you don't want to indicate why you are calling them. You don't want to say, hey, I heard your taxes aren't paid, or you're going to lose your property in 6 months if you don't pay them. You never want to say that. The message you want to say to any prospect, anytime, regardless of the list they were on, or regardless of what you think the motivation is just, hey, I just want to know if you're interested in hearing an offer, or you're interested in selling it. That's it. If someone is interested, then you want to go through the qualification process. The qualification process, in a nutshell, are from the great Brent Daniels, the 4 pillars of motivation. So you want to ask them about time frame, like when do they want to sell. You want to ask them about the reason why they're selling, right? And they're not always going to tell you, hey, because I'm about to lose the property. They might tell you, oh, I'm just looking to move. But you want to get a decent time frame, good time frame. So let's talk about time frame. So time frame, the good answers are right away, immediately, yesterday, as soon as I can, a couple of months. That's good. At least in New York, a couple of months is quick. The reason, you want a good reason, and then you want to ask the 3rd and 4th pillars of motivation, which are condition of the property, right? You want to find out. Now, any one of these 4 pillars could possibly be a deal. So if somebody wants to sell quickly or wants to sell in a long time, if somebody has a really strong reason, I got to move, I'm being relocated. If somebody says the condition is bad, that's really good. And the 4th is price. You want to try and get price. So I have a price discovery method that I use. If you want my script that has it in there, I'll send it to you. I think it's worth $10,000, but I send it out for free. But you want to ask price for a very specific way. And if someone just wants to get rid of it and has a number in mind, and that number makes sense, then you can sell it, then you can buy it for that too. Any of those 4 pillars of motivation can make a deal. Any one of them, right? Multiple pillars are even better. But that is what you want to do when somebody says that they're interested in selling, right? You just want to qualify them after. You never want to discuss the motivation that you think, because very often what you think is wrong, and even more importantly, even if you're right, they can get pissed off, right? You tell somebody, hey, I heard your house is being foreclosed on. They're not going to be happy with you. So you do not want to ever talk about reason, ever, ever, ever. You don't want to handle leads differently, because you're going to be wrong more than you're going to be right. And even when you're right, the people are going to feel like the privacy was violated. So you do not want to get into that. Okay. Got a few more minutes. What else should we talk about with taxes? I know there's stuff to think about. I just on top of this mountain watching people walk by with their dogs, and I'm just not thinking about what I should be talking about. But so just understanding how the primacy of liens work. So if you don't pay your taxes on a property, your county, your municipality has first dibs on your property. Even if you have a first lien mortgage on it, that lien goes before a first lien mortgage. So if, for example, if your house is worth $200,000, you took a $100,000 mortgage on it, and you didn't pay your taxes to the point where it was over $100,000, your municipality is going to get paid first before your first mortgage lien holder, which is why first mortgage lien holders are going to pay your taxes first, because they don't want to get middled out. They don't want to get screwed where they're not getting their lien paid off, which is why if you have a tax lien showing up or delinquent taxes at all, it usually indicates that there is no first mortgage lender. Now, most mortgage lenders are going to escrow for taxes and pay it anyway, but even if you elect not to, if they are going into foreclosure, they are going to make sure that your taxes are paid. So if taxes aren't paid, that's why it's really a good indicator that there is no first lien holder. I think I'm gonna have to cut this one short because a lot more people coming as it gets later here. So I want to thank you very much for watching. If you are watching on YouTube, please subscribe. If you are watching on any channel, please click the thumbs up. I really appreciate it. And if you are interested in other ways that can help you, go to howtoflipnewyork.com. If you're interested in my course that teaches what I do, go to howtoflipnewyorkcourse.com. If you're interested in information about my coaching, go to coaching.howtoflipnewyork.com. And if you are and keep the comments coming. I post 5 times a week. I don't always know what to say, so this came from a comment. So if it's a simple comment, I'll just respond with an answer. If it's a topic I've covered before, I'll send you a link to the video, and if it's something new, I'll do a video on it. Thank you very, very much for watching.